today to our BASF canola breeding site at Longerenong in Western Victoria. My name's David Pike and I'm the canola breeder with BASF based here at Longerenong. As you can see, the canola is looking quite good here. We've had a very good season at Longerenong and we're expecting a good harvest in 3 or 4 weeks' time. What I'd like to discuss today is some of our TT canolas that we've got on the market and coming through the pipeline. Just as a bit of background, there's been a bit of a transition going on in the TT market for canola. Traditionally, most of the TT varieties were like Bonito, they were open pollinated varieties. And in the past few years, there's been a transition to the hybrid canolas like Inviga T 4510. The hybrid canolas have been around for a number of years now. Some of the original hybrid canolas that were on the market, the yield gain was only fairly small compared to the OP canolas. But since varieties like Inviga T 4510 have been on the market, there's been a really consistent yield advantage of the hybrid canolas versus the OP canolas. And a variety like 4510 is consistently yielding somewhere around that 300 kilos per hectare more than the OP varieties like Bonito. And that translates to a significant extra income to the farmer, and it more than offsets the additional cost of hybrid seed. So 4510 has been our major selling canola Australia-wide for BASF for a few years now. And the reason it's been so successful is it's so consistent. It's really widely adapted. It's grown everywhere from northern WA down to southern Victoria. It's an early mid variety and its best feature is its consistency. It can be grown over quite a wide range of areas, and it's performed well in good seasons like this one, and it's still managed to perform well in some of the tougher seasons we've had, particularly in places like New South Wales. And we'd really encourage people to go to places like the NVT website where you can look at independent data and see how well it's performed. The other variety that we've got in our TT portfolio is this one over here. It's the Inviga T 6010, and you can see there's some flowers on the end of it, and the big difference between that and the 4510 is it's later in maturity. It's over a week later to starting flower. And it's really targeted for those longer season rainfall areas, places like southern Victoria in the western districts, some of the higher rainfall zones of New South Wales and southern WA, where you get a longer season and a softer finish. And the big advantage of this variety is it's got a higher top end yield than something like the 4510. The 4510 has performed quite well in those areas, but when you get the really good seasons like this one with a soft finish, a variety like 6010 can produce the extra yield and you can get more income. So if you're thinking of growing canola and you're growing a TT, I'd really encourage you to go to places like the NVT and look at how the hybrids are now performing, because the transition to hybrids is something that's happened around the world in places like Canada, and we're now starting to see it in Australia, and it's really driven by the high yield of varieties like 4510 and varieties like 6010. I'll hand over to Ash, who's going to explain some of the commercial aspects of the MySeed program.
Thanks, Dave. So yeah, I'm Ashley Knight, ASM for the West Wimmera, Mallee and Sunraysia. So I just want to talk to you about the MySeed program that we have at BASF. So the website is now live to order your canola seed for the 2021 season. We have a couple of conditions around the canola seed. So we have the 45-day replace MySeed, and we also have pay at harvest terms as well, which gives a flexibility for the grower to know that they can purchase their hybrid seed and not have to pay until harvest 2021.